Let's normalize saying, I don't know. When somebody says something that you don't know, or they use a big word that you don't know, or they say something and do a reference that you don't know, or they make a joke that goes over your head and you don't know, let's normalize saying, I don't get it. Or somebody asks you a question, you say, I don't know. Like, let's normalize that. Because what is the problem with not knowing? Why does everybody feel like they have to know things? You don't have to know things. I mean, it's important to be educated on things that you don't know, especially if you're really curious, right? But how will you know if you're always pretending to know when you don't know? Just say, I don't know. And more importantly, I had a long conversation about this tonight with my sister. I was on the phone with her, and I was just telling her all my thoughts that I be thinking, and I don't get to share them with the people. And sometimes I don't come on here and share all my thoughts because I don't want nobody to be like judging me. The internet is a serious place, okay? We're moving into a time where authenticity, and I've said this in other videos, and I'm just going to keep saying it, but we're moving into a time where authenticity and people being genuine and, like it's going down by the wayside, right? You have human beings on TikTok pretending to be NPCs, and they're going, it was actually one lady I watched, she was really good at it. Like, I was like, am I looking at a human or am I looking at she was really working that. She was really working it. Shout out to Piggy Doll. She started it all, but the people have taken it and run with it, right? And I find it to be entertaining and it's talented. You have talent if you can pretend to be AI. Oh my God. Side note before I continue. I saw this ad about now you can record yourself for 1 minute and AI will, and then you type in a script and then you can have an AI video of yourself when it's not really you, it's AI. Take a look.
Captions app. Let me show you how you can create your own AI twin in seconds. Just open the Captions app and head to AI Creator. From here, select AI Twin. Then all you need to do is film yourself for 1 minute following their script, and boom, you have your own avatar. Now you can create more personal avatars for different scenarios, and can create any video of yourself that you want on the fly. It is a total game changer. Try it for yourself. It is wild. Now on Captions.
I know, crazy. Like, and then I saw another ad where I guess that, tied into the same story. But I saw this ad first and then I heard the story. And when I saw the ad, I was like, absolutely not. And then we hear the story of somebody taking their life because of their AI friend. And so you get why I'm saying that we're moving into a time that is nobody's authentic, And then on a deeper level, I even saw somebody talking and I thought this, but a lot of people, they word things very well. And I don't have the verbiage for a lot of things, but I understand things. And sometimes I can't regurgitate things. It's just difficult for me. But she made a very good point about capitalism and the structure of society and all that stuff and how it's so divisive and how, it's set up for us to be individuals and do everything by ourselves and stuff like that. And, crazy.
I'm so fucking sick of seeing people blame other people for not having community and saying that, oh, it's because they are introverted or they don't go outside or they choose this life for themselves. It is entirely a result of the government. You don't have community anymore because everyone has social anxiety nowadays. You have never had a critical thought in your life. You should naturally be around your community on a day-to-day basis without even trying, without even having to. Because they built every city around cars and not for humans, you don't see another person on your day-to-day basis. This kind of infrastructure forces us to spend money anytime we want to go anywhere, while also keeping us isolated from each other, and that is by design. So now you don't see people in passing when you're on your way to the grocery store or when you're taking the train home from work. Whereas if you were in a walkable city, you would have more of a community feel and you would actually see people in your community on a day-to-day basis. So the government go in decades trying to convince us that individualism is the way to go and that every single one of us needs our own house, our own microwave, our own refrigerator, our own space, or else we are literally failures. Let's bring back sharing, because I want to be in a community where my neighbor feels happy to come over and ask me for a little bit of sugar.
When I'm talking about authenticity and I'm talking about like being yourself, and the reason I would say this normalizing, I don't know, is because it creates a conversation. We're not like, when you don't know something, it creates the opportunity to have a conversation and two people to be like educating each other on something that the other may not know. And there's power in that. Don't sleep on that. Don't think that, that's something that shouldn't be appreciated, because, when you don't have that, when you don't have the option, like we know during C-19, when we couldn't, we had the internet, right? But we couldn't have physical contact with people because we had to, separate ourselves and stay in the house and, do the shelter in place stuff, we had to do that. And we, as human beings, we need that human connection. We need human touch. We need whatever. And saying I don't know doesn't have anything to do with touch, but I'm just saying it's a part of the art of communication and connecting with other people. How can you connect with other people if everybody's walking around like NPCs, acting like they know everything when they don't? And let's really think about it. If you're a person who wants to share their knowledge, if you're just looking at it from that perspective, you want to talk to people who find your knowledge fascinating and will allow you to speak about it. What about, needing to be educated and letting people, open your mind up to new things? Like, when I look at things, I see a bigger picture. I don't just look at the small thing happening, what seems to be small that nobody's paying attention to. Just like when I made a video about the commercial saying that, if you don't vote, people are going to have access to your public records to know if you voted or not. Like, that's dangerous. Another thing that's dangerous, and maybe dangerous is too, but you're treading, it's not good to pretend that you are knowledgeable about everything. It's okay to not know. It's okay to listen. It's okay to learn. It's okay to be teachable. It's okay, guys. You don't have to say, oh, I know that already. Like, I know. And you don't gotta do that. There's too much pressure on you. That's way too much pressure on you. All you got to do is say, I don't know. Or I never thought about it that way. Or how so? Or, interesting. Can you elaborate? Like, it's okay. We don't have to be like, oh, I know. I know. And let me make the distinction, because I do know when people are like filibustering and they're being long-winded, and you know what they're going to say. Like, if you're a smart person and somebody's drawing something out and they don't, or like when I talk, shout out to the people who comment under my videos and they simplify what I'm saying, because I can be long-winded. When people are doing that, and they just reword it for you, that's also very helpful to me. Like, I love that. I love when I'm saying something and it takes me a whole 9 minutes to get to my point, and they comment on the thing, I agree, something simple, and I'm like, is that all it took? Was that one sentence? Amazing. Let's not hate on each other, guys. Let's uplift each other, guys. Let's encourage each other to be our best selves. And let's encourage people to show up without feeling intimidated or like, we understand that the structure of society and the way that people, it's a power structure and people compete to be the top and the smartest. And let's let that go. Let's normalize, I don't know. Let's normalize correcting each other, of course, respectfully. Let's normalize, giving people alternatives and whatever, how to say things, how to, deliver things. Let's normalize communicating, move towards community again. because we're losing it. And here's the thing. I'm a loner. I like to be by myself. Sometimes I just want to do things by myself. Sometimes I don't want that type of input. But when we eventually don't have that type of input, you're going to crave it. You're going to crave human connection. You're going to crave authenticity. You're going to crave being around people who don't just make faces and act like NPCs. And you're going to crave these things. I promise. Like, let's normalize and let's bring back, I don't know, you know?